to another episode of Ghana's in Africa podcast. Thank you for being here. It's been a fantastic week to be associated with Arsenal Football Club. 2 wins and 2 great wins, both domestically and in Europe. We beat Spurs on Sunday 4-1 at home, and then we went on to beat, probably going to the game with a 2 top side in Europe, and Bayern Munich at home 3-1. We've got some players coming back, we're scoring goals, we're on top of the Premier League, and we're on top of the Champions League. It's fantastic, and we have players returning from injuries as well, which is fantastic going to the next few games. Of course, this weekend we are playing Chelsea. They've been loud lately. They are informed, their fans are confident. Luckily, I have colleagues at work who are Chelsea fans. They've been talking too much about this game, and they're high in confidence. It's understandable because they've been winning games, although they beat the 10-man Barcelona. But anyway, looking forward to the game on Sunday against them. But before that, I want to reflect on the Bayern game, which was a fantastic win for the Arsenal. We've reached our 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel, and you can like this video as well. You can follow us on TikTok, Threads, and Instagram, and you can listen to us on audio on Spotify and Apple. It's Ghana's in Africa across all the platforms. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the win against Bayern. Fantastic game. I think tactically it was probably one of our toughest games in terms of tactics and how Bayern play and how they rotate in position, out of position. But we're able to cope with that, and then we're able to dominate and find a solution in that regard. So I think starting from the team, I think we expected some changes, but he only made 2 changes, with the left back Miles Lewis Kelly coming in, and then left centre back with Christian Mosquera coming in for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I feel like it's going to be like that now that Gabi is off, so rotating between Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mosquera at left centre back to play with William Saliba, especially going through this period. Hopefully Gabriel returns very soon, but they've both been fantastic. They had great performances in those games. So in this game we were really Bayern a very good side. It's a reason that they hadn't lost a game before we played. They beat PSG in Europe, and then everyone was talking them up. They scored a lot of goals, no losses. Their first loss of the season. So they set up well Bayern in terms of what they've done in the beginning. I think the first 20 minutes they were really good, but to a certain extent, because there's how I view domination. Like, people will say, I saw a lot of tweets coming out now, they are parking a bus against Bayern, but we aren't parking the bus. You need to be very smart in terms of, if the team is on top of you, okay, you need to be patient, stay in your 4-4-2 shape, be patient. When you get opportunities and get a foothold in the game, then you start attacking. So what they've done in the first 10 minutes, in the first 20 minutes, Bayern, they were very good in keeping possession. They're passing the ball around. They were rotating in positions. You see Kane, that's his trademark. He comes deep. You see Gnabry, Olise rotating, Leonard Carl as well. They were rotating. The front players were rotating. They will come back and pick up the ball from deep. And it was difficult for us to check them back, because that gives you, sometimes with teams, do you track them all the way, or do you check them to a certain position and come back to your station? That's what we struggled with in the first half, because we weren't sure where to really go with them, and then they were able to pop the ball around. But the good thing for us is that they weren't able to get shots at goal in that period that they were dominant. They were never creating chances, and also and then they couldn't get touches in our box as well, so which is our strong points, because everyone was talking about defense versus attack, and then we dealt with that period very well. And then when we started getting a foothold in the game, we started getting into a box, creating chances, creating pressure, because physically they couldn't match us in terms of how hard running in the duels. We started doing that. I felt in that period, when we started getting hold of a game, I think Martin Zubimendi was top in that midfield. all the time, nicking the balls off them, winning aerial duels. He was really, really good. And Declan Rice as well, with his physicality and hard running style and carrying the ball were fantastic. When we started getting hold of a game, we started moving as well, and we started showing who we are, and we started playing direct as well, running behind, trying to push them back. And unfortunately, Leandro Trossard had to be subbed early in the game because of an injury. I think it's sort of a calf issue. And that also gave Mikel an opportunity to sort of talk to the team and find solutions, to provide solutions of what Bayern were doing. And then we started seeing us, when we defend, if someone is marking, we went to defend one-on-one, you go with your guy, man-to-man, you go with your guy, you run all the way. We saw Saliba, Mosquera running all the way with Kane and Gnabry and Olise, which was we started seeing like we're getting a foothold in the game, we started getting control of the game. So, and then we got a set piece, a great corner from Saka. I don't know what Manuel was doing. He got nudged and then he tried to buy a free kick. And when we realized Timber went past him and flicked it in the corner, 1-0 to Arsenal. One of the things about our corners, I feel like they are just a psychological thing now, and they are no longer as like we see in Istanbul. It's the psychology of the teams. If you looked at the Bayern players before that corner, how sort of shaken they were, and then we scored from that corner, and from that corner, the next set piece, all the set pieces that we had, you look in their faces, they weren't sure what to do, and they look scared, and which is good for us because it's more psychological thing now, because we can, and also with the set pieces, we make it an event. We slow it down so that we take our time in taking it, so that they can think about it. So you want them to think about it, which is fantastic from the team. And the deliveries have been great. Rice, we've been talking about that all season. Rice and Saka, they've been fantastic in delivering those balls. So it was 1-0. And then I felt after we scored the goal, and when there was a fantastic opportunity for Eze as well to score, I think the first touch of that game. First touch, nutmeg, made the run. I felt like it wasn't too caught in two minds whether to take a shot at goal, and the ball was under his feet. He couldn't bend it around to the far corner. And then there was Saka also coming in, because if you square to Saka, you need to sort of bend it towards him to score. But anyway, missed the chance, and then I felt we didn't control the game well. Normally, once we score, we get to control the game, and Bayern had an opportunity. They were calm. I think they are a very experienced team, so they were calm, trying to keep the ball around, and then a ball over the top, over Luis Kelly, a great run from Gnabry, and then Leonard Carl with the finish. Fantastic goal for them. I know a lot of people are playing Miles Luis Kelly for that. I think that ball could have beat any defender, and a great run. Fantastic goal. It was 1-1 going to halftime. So I felt like it was sort of, we scored our goal, but we didn't control the game in that first half. And then in the second half, we started very strongly. I think Saka had a chance early on, shot with his right foot, and Manuel tipped it over. I think from that we had another set piece, put the pressure on them, started dominating them. They didn't even have a shot in the second half. We were like really dominant in the second half. We're physical. Declan Rice, I don't know where he was. He was on another level. Declan Rice in that game. Started pushing them back. There was still a threat from Michael Olise, and then they were switching all. And then I think Leonard Carl was on the right, playing against Miles, had some runs. But yeah, we were in control for most of it, and we were dominant for most of it. And then we made subs. Madueke came on for Trossard in the first half. We made subs. At that time, it was Calafiori coming in for Miles Luis Kelly, and then we had Martinelli coming in for Saka. And not long, Calafiori, and then Declan Rice won the ball, passed it to Eze on the left, and then put it through for Calafiori. A great cross at the back post. Madueke finish. His first goal for Arsenal and his first goal in the Champions League. Fantastic for him. So happy for him, especially with what happened in the summer when we were signing him. Get his first goal, and he looked sharp because he's been running a lot. And then he looks fantastic, especially his directness and his ability to want to take on a player, and his repeated. I've always talked about it. If you are able to repeat actions like he does, it's fantastic, man. And then controlled, and Bayern had a chance for the third goal. The corner, and no, they didn't have a corner. I think they won a ball off Michael Olise. Martinelli won it, put it to pass it to Eze, and with typical Martinelli, a run from deep and a great ball, similar ball to when he played him through against Manchester City from Eze. Over the top, first touch, Neuer was out of his goal, put it past him, went on finishing an empty net, 3-1 to the Arsenal, and then it was game over for Bayern. So, fantastic result for us. I think tactically, I need to give credit to Mikel Arteta. He was able to find solution, because this season he's been building different faces for this Arsenal team, different ways of playing teams, how teams set up, or how we are tactically being able to find solutions with the players. We don't need to really to sub in players to change how we play or to find a solution. We can find a solution with the players that we have, whether we sort of push our centre backs wide, and then the central midfielders we saw in that game, Zubimendi and Rice, at some point when we are in position, they will be like playing the central defender position, and then our centre backs wide, or we can have one receiving the ball from the centre backs or the goalkeeper, and then they double, and then Rice playing high. When we press high, and then we're aggressive, and then we have fullbacks coming in and everything, man. That's the ability that this team has tactically, and then how to deal with opposition as well, and then we find solutions when we're struggling. And the fact that we are patient, we are willing to let the team, okay, you're on top of us now, okay, we're going to sit back, now for photo shape until we get control of the game. There was a lot of talk of using our set pieces as a tactic to sort of gain control in the game. It is good, it works, because we change the momentum of games with the set pieces. It doesn't matter if we score or not. We'll put you in a set piece, we'll put you under pressure, we keep you in your half, we dominate and push you back, we keep you there until we find a goal, which is fantastic for this team. And the IQ. The other great thing that came from the team, despite we gave enough minutes to Madueke, Martinelli as well, and then Martin Odegaard came on. I was worried that he wasn't going to get a touch in that game, but he got a few touches, which was good. Hopefully he's going to be ready for our next game. A fantastic result. We are 5 out of 5 in the Champions League. We considered one goal. We beat everyone we faced. We're on top of the table with 3 points, which is fantastic. It's a fantastic start. Now we can go to the next few games with not the pressure of really winning, and it's an opportunity also for Mikel to rotate some of his players, to give minutes to people who haven't played. I was happy to see Ben White playing as well. So yeah, we haven't seen him in a long while. So that was fantastic. And then going to this weekend, we have Chelsea, who have been doing well. They're in great form. I've watched some of their game against Burnley, and then some of their game against Barca. They look fantastic in terms of attack. They are very open. I think some of the players were in form. Enzo Fernandez looks great. Estevão, there's a lot of talk about him. Cucurella is playing well. Rich James is playing a lot of games, at least out of hospital now. They are a good side. I think people don't talk much about them. I think they're a very good side. They play well in the big games. They can be very strong, but defensively, I feel like they are missing a bit in their centre backs. You can get to them with their centre back. They don't control games much, but they are fantastic going forward, because they have a young squad who are very running. Can either get Garnacho on the left, Estevão on the right, or Pedro Neto, or can have Liam Delap is back now, or João Pedro. They can play in midfield Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, who's been fantastic going forward. I saw Andre Santos against Burnley as well. Rich James can also play in midfield. And then Gusto as well play at right back, Cucurella on the left, Tosin and Chalobah at centre back, and then Robert Sanchez. They've been playing well. I feel like they've been consistent, Chelsea this season. As much people were talking up Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, but I think Chelsea, they're a fantastic squad. But it's more about can they be consistent throughout the season to challenge for the title. I guess this is an opportunity for them to play. They're second at the moment, so meaning playing your title right at the top two, playing your title rivals, and see what they can do. But yeah, man, they are a fantastic side. What I took out of their game against Barca is they are pressing. They're very aggressive. I hope they can do that because most sides when they play Arsenal, they don't want to really come out and play. I hope they continue to play and try and play so that they can give us opportunities. On Arsenal, as mentioned, the returning Odegaard, Martinelli, Madueke will be high in confidence, especially Madueke that scored his first goal and he's going back to his former club. He'll probably have an opportunity to play in that game, especially that Trossard is injured. Hopefully he's fit because he's been in great form this season, one of our best players, and in the last 2 months he's been fantastic. He's on top of our goal contributions, I think. And there's hope that Gyökeres will be available for this game. So we're getting stronger and stronger into the season, and especially for this game. I don't want to be on this game. I want to win this game. And if we win this game, the chance will be either 9 points ahead or 7 points ahead, because if City wins, they'll add 2 points on Chelsea, above Chelsea. And then we need to win this game. This is the game that we need to win, and then to extend our lead. And for me, how I look at it, the Premier League is, it's not just about the number of points. I want to look at to make sure that it's games. So at least minimum 4 games. We need to drop points in 4 games for you to get close to us. So which is something that won't happen as soon, because it puts pressure. The more games, sort of, when you have games, it's like 4 games, that's 12 points. So we need to drop points in those 4 games. So we're now on 2 games where we need to drop points in 2 games for you to close the gap. It needs to be 4. I want it to get to 4, a minimum 4. When to get to 5, we're winning the league. I think we hardly drop points. We win games, home and away. I think going to this game against Chelsea, I think I'm worried a bit about the level of intensity that we're going to, level of energy that we can provide to this game, especially that how high the intensity was in our last 2 games against Spurs and Bayern, and then we didn't make much changes, especially to players like Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi, William Saliba, Urian Timber, Mikel Merino, maybe Enzo as well. Those players, I'm worried a bit, but I think this period of the season is where the fitness level of players is quite high, because they've played, I think, a quarter of the season already. So you'll want them, you will believe that they're in top shape. But the good thing for us, we have players coming back from injuries. For example, Saka was injured sometime in the beginning of the season, so he's peaking his physicality. And then Odegaard, Martinelli, Madueke, Trossard, Gyökeres will be in top shape. Hopefully we continue in our form. The one thing about this game, we need to be able to control better the game. I felt like against Bayern, we didn't control the game the way we should, like we usually do. So I was worried about that. So we need to control the big game better, especially usually so calm when we play away from home. We're mostly in control of the game, especially our midfield. I felt like they will try and press and run harder. I'm sure Neto will play, but I feel like we can control the game, keep the ball, let them chase for a lot, because they're young, they will have a lot of energy. Let them chase tactically, and then punish them through being physical, put pressure on them, keep them in their half, don't give them the ball, because once you give them the ball, you give them confidence. So yeah, there's selection issues, probably selection headache for Mikel going this game, especially if Trossard is not fit. So I think tactically if you look at who will play, and then there's some of the decisions to make is probably left centre back, left wing, especially if Trossard is not fit, and then left centre back. I think Pierre and Campi will probably come back, and then left wing. If Trossard is not fit, my idea in my head would be to play as a left wing and bring Odegaard in. I really want to see that, especially if you want to control the game with possession as well. It could be a really good game. Having those two, just worried in terms of the fitness of Odegaard. Is he ready to play the game? But yeah, or we can go with Madueke on the left because he's played quite a few minutes. Because you can make a sub in that side because there's people available to play our left wing, and then play Marino up top. Some matchups in this game, I think, in terms of Saka, Cucurella, a lot of talk about Chelsea fans talk a lot about him. He's in great form. Cucurella has been playing well. And then the midfield, Enzo and Caicedo against Rice and Zubimendi. It's going to be interesting. Or I'm not sure who they will play at 10. There's interesting selections for Chelsea as well, depending. Maybe Liam Delap will play as a 9, João Pedro as a 10, Estevão on the right, or or Pedro Neto in the left wing. Garnacho, Gittins, or Neto can play there as well. Cole Palmer might be available for the game, but one thing I want them to have their best players available so that they don't have excuses when we beat them. So the team for me for this game would be Ryan goal, Saliba and Hincapie, and then we would have Calafiori and Timber, Rice, Zubimendi. If Trossard is not fit, I would have Odegaard, Eze, Saka, and Merino. I think we can beat them with that team. They'll probably score. We can beat them 2-1. I think we're a strong enough team, or we can keep a clean sheet there. Man, good luck to the team. I think if we win this one, we've been in really good position going to the next few games and getting more players back. Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus. That will be fantastic. Even Big Gabi coming back. I think we can leave it there. Thank you so much for watching or listening. As again, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. You can follow us on other channels. It's Gunners in Africa. Find us on Spotify, Apple, we're not on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. And drop a comment or any questions that you want, or something that you want me to talk about in the next pod. Thanks so much for watching. Come on, you Gunners.